Welcome to this episode of my Women Empowerment Wednesday show. My name is Jessica DSB. Enjoy this episode.
Happy Wednesday! It's Women Empowerment Wednesday. Welcome to all of you that will be joining live, to all of you that will be watching replay. My name is Jessica. For those that do not know me, I am a proud single mom. I am a coach, 2 times best international author, selling author, and super excited world passionate traveler, entrepreneur as well. So thank you all for being here. So what is this about, Women Empowerment Wednesday? So this movement has started in April. And what we wanted to do, me and Jamie that started together at the time, wanted to create conversations weekly with a special guest. And what do we want is empowering, inspiring, touching conversations. And not only me with the special guest, but we want to bring this, you know, in your life and in your people that you care about, and your friends, your family. Bring this conversation, and every week we pick a special topic. So I'm super excited about our guest this week. Before I introduce her, I do want to remind you that I have my Facebook group, the Women Empowerment by Jessica DSB. And at 365 members, I'm doing a draw for my free book, 365 Empowering Stories. So join my Facebook group. See, I'm not perfect. Don't have to be perfect to do these calls. And invite the people that you love and you care about. Yes. Yes. So Yay. Let me introduce our special guest, and I want to say your last name properly. Mrs. Tracy Vicory-Rosenquest. I hope I got that right. This incredible lady I met through she was my program leader in self-expression and leadership program. What an honor to have been able to have her as our leader. And, you know, she is a playwright, screenwriter, educator, coach, entrepreneur. She's a mother to a beautiful 2-year-old son. He's so adorable, the perfect hair. They live in Plattsburgh, New York. She also has a local coffee shop. So one day, promise, I will go and have a coffee there. Yeah. And Tracy creates projects to make a difference, and many other things like coaching writers. So with no further ado, let me hear from you, and welcome to this call. Thank you for being there, Tracy.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a delight.
Yay. Yeah. So let me hear a little bit more about who you are. So that
Well, I've been living in Plattsburgh, New York for the last 7 or 8 years. And before that was living in Seattle, Minneapolis. You know, I love moving to community and really discovering what difference can be made inside of that community, and, you know, being a part of a whole new community. So what else? I am a screenwriter, a playwright. For about over 16 years, I've been writing and producing and creating. I am actually this year in 2020, I was on a panel for a screenplay that I wrote in the last year for Ida Ballard, who's a Holocaust survivor and has had a wild life. And I was on a Sundance panel in Salt Lake City. And I just got invited to the French Riviera Film Festival panel this month. So, you know, I think writing, you know, whether you're creating it yourself, whether you're just journaling and having perspective on your life, I think writing can really contribute to, you know, what we're all going through right now. So I am finding ways to keep writing.
I love it. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, I thought we had comments, but hello to everybody that's watching. If you're watching live, type live in the comments so I know who you are, who you're watching. And then if you're going to be watching this replay, type replay in the comments so that I can see who you were watching. So let's dive in. Yeah. We connected yesterday. We said, okay, what are we going to talk about? There's so many things. could have talked about with you. But we chose to talk about this whole shift, this whole COVID happened in March, and now school started again, and there's a lot of like a big shift, a big adjustment in people's lives. And I was just sharing with you earlier, in my case, my daughter's been home with me since March, and this week I had to totally restructure my schedule. And I will be real and honest, I was freaking out. I was like, how am I going to do this? We haven't had a schedule since March. My daughter was, she didn't know what to expect with the new stuff happening in the school. So let me hear what you have to share on what I just shared.
Yeah. It's interesting. Since March, it's just been unpredictable every step of the way. I mean, I don't know about you, but every phase of what every part of the country and our world are going through is happening in all of these interesting ways. And all of the usual routines and physical space with people is like all out the door. And I think, what I've been dealing with and what I, have been in conversation with people dealing with is the uncertainty of it all, and the how do I live with my family in close quarters for this several month period of time, and how do I now transition back into the school year, and what does that look like? Are you homeschooling? Are you sending your child back full time, or somewhere in between? How do you deal with childcare? It's uncertain. And I think, right now it's an investigation on how do we be with what's so and create this new normal of what it looks like right now.
Right. Because it's like, how do I get the support? How do I deal with that uncertainty?
Yeah. And I think we're trying to deal with it in ways we've tried to deal with it before that don't work right now. We can't go hug and kiss our friends. We can't go out to, social gatherings together and have dinner together, and we have to keep our family safe and keep ourselves healthy.
Right.
So I think it's an investigation on how can we let go of how it should be, how it ought to be, all of our complaints about what it was like when we could just freely walk around without a mask,
right?
And start figuring out and like dwelling in what is going to make a difference to be supported and connected right now.
I love what you just shared, because I was actually talking to my coach a few days ago. And yes, I've learned to let go. Like, if the laundry is not folded right now and the plate is not washed right now, it's okay. Learn to let go, because as we've heard before, though, we've always lived in an uncertain world.
Yeah, we have. And we had this idea that it was all gonna just keep going the way we thought it was gonna be going.
Right?
Completely.
Oh my God. Let me just do a few shout outs to hello, Joel.
Hi.
Sid. Hi, Sid. He said, woo, woo. He says, hi, awesome people. Thank you for being there. Melissa. Hi, Sue. I'm assuming maybe a family member of you.
Oh, Sue Vicory?
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, hi, Mom. Hi, Mike, and hi, Elaine. Elaine.
Woo!
Thank you all for watching, for being part of this conversation. If you're watching live, let us know. Type in the comment live, and if you're going to be watching replay, let me know as well. So we're having a conversation about this whole shift in the last few months, and then more in depth of right now with the school that restarted. And I was just sharing as well with you is, like in Quebec, we have to be back in school. Like, there's no option of me keeping my daughter at home.
Wow.
So, and which I was shocked, because I didn't know, right? Unless you have a medical condition or you have a family member that might, that you have it. And I know like a province like Ontario where I think they were allowed to keep their kids home, right?
Mhm.
So we're dealing with all these new ways and this uncertainty.
Yeah.
So how can people get the support they need?
Well, I mean, you got to look at what does contribute to you. You know, I have found for myself, if I keep participating in the things that I care about and am passionate about, I can find ways to keep myself connected and empowered. You know, whether it's finding community time and community projects that I love. I actually, with my mom, am on Heartland Films is creating a school for women and non-binary, you know, our non-binary community and transgender community to create film, to have like film work together. So that's a passion project we can work on Zoom with people across the country. You know, and as a writer, I get to write any, you know, I can figure out when I get to write inside of my own socially distanced time, and finding space to like have those practices that do make a difference for you. You know, you can find creative ways to support yourself and be connected to people.
I love that. And
yeah.
I want to, Elaine says, hi, ladies. And your mom said, good plug.
Always. We have our next meeting tonight. So
you're doing awesome, Mom. So I want to dive into the topic of community, because before doing my self-expression and leadership course, which was a 6-7 month program, you can tell me exactly, but I don't think I had a proper grasp on how to create community.
Yeah.
So how about you tell the viewers a little bit about how to really create that community? Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's a great question.
Right? I mean, 7 months in 1 minute, but that's
a 1 minute share. Well, you know, I don't think there's like a right answer, but I think part of creating community is an inquiry. You know, it's first an inquiry of that we don't automatically create community, and we are head down, you know, through the tunnel to get from one place to another, the next thing to the next thing, without actually using the people that care about us in our community to empower whatever it is we're up to. You know, it's easy for any of us to do it ourselves and be the only one, and then complain that we're the only one and there's no time to do what we want to do. Right. And I think what takes the challenge is actually, how do we engage our community? How do we make requests of our community to support what we're dealing with? You know, I had a head cold this week. I couldn't go to operate my business. My husband was out of town, and I was like, I got to use community. Otherwise, the business is not going to run. We're going to run out of inventory. And I had to call, and I had, you know, no vitamin C left in the house. So I had to call my friend Shauna, and I said, go to the co-op and pick up my vitamin C. I had to call my friend Leah. I said, go get the lavender and deliver it to the store for the London fog. So we have to engage community and actually risk ourselves to, you know, trust that community is going to be there.
Love it. Love it. And so some people might say, well, I don't want to bother people.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, it might be lonely. Might be a little lonely. I mean, that's a human thing. I mean, I do it. I don't want to interrupt people. Right. I don't want to bother them. But if we don't bother each other, we're going to be suffering alone. You know, I think it's really important now than ever to be in communication about what we're dealing with.
Yes.
You know, and I just had, you know, there's a little girl who lives in our community. Her name is Leah. She's a foster kid. And she just wrote Miles and I a letter in the mail. You know, like, we can be connected in all kinds of ways without bothering people. I think that's a pitfall for our humanity, that we think that we're somehow not important enough to be connected. And people want to jump in and support you. You know, my friend Shauna was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go to the co-op and get you vitamin C. You know, it's just like, that's what we need right now.
Right. And, you know, as soon as we get asked to help, and we do it. We feel good. Oh my God, she asked me for the help. Oh my God. And this brings me to actually a conversation I had with Alain when he was my coach.
Yeah.
And he's want to make sure he's still watching, Alain. And when you're going through, a breakdown or a tough time or a tough day, whatever is going on, or a tough situation, in my case, I become that turtle, right? So I hide in my shell. I'm like, I don't want to. You do. I do. Oh my God. You didn't know, right?
Oh, I knew.
And I remember him telling me, Jessica, by doing that, by hiding in your shell and by not reaching out to me, your coach, I'm there for you. Yeah. You're robbing me from the gift of being there for you.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked at that because it's true. He says, I remember that. It's so true. When you're being asked to do something, like I become so alive when somebody, hey, Jess, can you do this for me? Or can you be, oh my God, I'm like so alive. I'm so excited. So my point is, like Tracy is saying, we have to create that community more than ever.
Yeah.
And that means those thoughts of, oh, they're not gonna help, or they can't do this, or I don't want to bother, just push them aside and just oh my God, I love this conversation. Thank you. He says, I'm still there for you. Thank you. Like I'm always there for you. What a beautiful journey this program. Okay, so part of you, let's continue on this community.
Yeah.
You create projects to make a difference, and I know you've created many projects, so which is amazing and so inspiring. And then you coach us leaders to do the same. And you know what, this woman empowerment was created during my self-expression and leadership program.
Wow. So
thank you. I get to today publicly acknowledge you for creating that, for like being that coach, that program leader to push me to go ahead with it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So right now, I know you talked about, being a writer for many, many years, 16 years, and now you're working on a project right now to teach people to help them cope, right? With what they're, right? So can you go more into details?
There's a local art house in town. Denise Frey has started in our Plattsburgh community. And, she walked into the coffee shop a couple weeks ago and she said, what people need right now is a workshop to deal with their anxiety and to deal with the uncertainty of what they're going through right now. And they, and she talked with me specifically as a writer, how can we bring these worlds together to really contribute to what people are going through in a way that we can communicate and get out what's there to be said. So she and I created a workshop, 2-day workshop in the first weekend in October in Plattsburgh, just to have a chance to stop, write, and take the time to actually see what we're dealing with. Because rarely, right now, whether we're busier than ever or whether we're like stopped and are just like working from home and not around people at all, one way or the other, there's like, it's filled up over there where we are. And I find writing as an access to get out whatever is there, kind of like churning around, so we can see what it is that we're dealing with and going through, and just have it exist like on paper or on, your Google Doc instead of stuck over here with you. Yeah.
Love that, because that's one way I use. And it's like, sometimes I feel like overwhelmed, or like it needs to come out and it's not going to be with my words.
Yeah.
So I go on my computer and I start typing. Like I do this journal. Whatever is on my mind, I just let it out. It's so therapeutic.
Yeah. And I mean, half of it's ugly anyway. So
why let it stay?
Not everyone wants to be on the phone with you as you're blabbing on about what you're dealing with. But sometimes, I mean, yes, connect with your community.
Yes.
People want to hear from you. And sometimes you just got to get your own space to stop, and like get out what's there to say.
How
Without, yeah,
sorry. I have like all these questions.
talking.
No, I love to hear you talk. So sorry.
Oh my God. Keep going.
Keep going. Lynn Marie Germain says, hi, Tracy. So good to see you. Welcome. Hi, GP, and hi, Margaret. Thank you all for being there. If you're watching live, type live in the comments if you're going to be watching replay. So what we're talking about is, the whole community and how to create community and how to cope with everything that's happening in the world.
Yeah.
We're talking about writing. What do you have to say to people that well, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to write. I don't know.
Yeah. I think if you have concerns about your writing, the first thing to notice is that honestly, who cares? Because no one's going to see it. So sometimes you just got to get out of your house, go sit by a park with your pad of paper and get out whatever's there to get out. This is not about punctuation and spelling and, the perfect plot format of a story. This is just say something. And I think it's, I know that you use the word cope, but I even want to use the word how do we be with whatever there is to be with right now and allow it to exist. And if we can just allow it to exist as it is, there's almost nothing we need to do to fix it or erase the page or I don't know, you can go rip up the page of paper if you want, but if you just allow it to be said, sometimes that's half the power.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm taking it in. I love this. So start writing. If that's one way that works for you, or even if you don't know if it works for you, just try it.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you have to lose?
Try it. Natalie Duran, she says, powerful, Tracy. I love it. Hi. Okay, let me just, so we're at time. Okay, perfect. So what about the person that has a dream or a goal of writing professionally?
Yeah.
And is saying, not sure if I know what to write about, or not sure if my content would be good.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, you could probably speak to this too,
Yeah.
I think it begins with what is it that sparks something in you. For some people, I've been working with writers this summer I invented Summer Camp for Writers this summer, where I work with writers and their writing projects for a week of summer camp online, and they get to work on their own creative writing projects. I'd worked with one woman who has had all of these children's books in her head, but she's never written a children's book. And we got to take the week and just talk about it and create it and plot it out and ask questions and brainstorm and write. So, and then, another woman that I was working with, she's got a story about how her grandparents met that she's been wanting to write. And, she's an actress and, this is not she loves writing, but this is not the first place she goes. So we got to spend a week and just, create, how did your grandparents meet and what happened before that and where were they and what were they wearing? And so I think has anything to do with what should you write, but just what is right now sparking your interest to create and to write something. And it could just be, you going through what you're going through in this transitional time with your family, with your career, with the uncertainty of, can you go sit down in a restaurant, and enjoy a great meal with a friend? I don't know. It could just be, you really investigating what is it that you need to say right now.
Yeah, what's on your heart?
Yeah.
There's tons of stuff, I'm sure. But yes, I can totally relate, because it was a dream of mine not to be doing it as a career, but as one of my goals, one of my dreams. And when I paid my due to be part of that book, I had no idea what I was going to write about.
Yeah.
I just knew this book was about empowering stories, and of course I would come up with something, but at the moment I just knew I wanted to be part of that specific project, and it was going to be that first step of going over that fear or those doubts, whatever that was there.
Yeah.
And I came up with this story. It was such a great experience. And, now I did it a second time. And this week, a lot of people have heard me talk about launching this book. So it's been great. And it's amazing. And another thing that came up this week is how one story, if you're inspiring one person, which you will, why keep it to yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Right? Yeah.
I love it. Hello, Audrey. Hey, everybody. Thank you all for being there. This is great. Okay, so let's go back to community projects. And I'm sure one question that's just popping up right now is people that might not know you like me and be like, how is this lady doing everything? All these projects. She has a local coffee shop. She's a mom of a 2-year-old. She drives used to drive every week to Montreal to do these How do you do it?
Honestly, I don't know. Well, honestly, going back to community, I think it has a lot to do with trusting your community to take on leadership around you. Now, there's regardless of the project, there are people that want to participate, and there are people that want to take on leadership. They want to be engaged. They want to have something to do right now that they care about. And I think, while it looks like there's a lot happening, it really is, if you surround yourself and keep surrounding yourself with people who want to lead the way with you and take on their own leadership, there's plenty of time for all kinds of stuff you could be creating. We have people in the community that love hanging out with Miles when, I'm out on an adventure up in Montreal. I mean, I won't be up there in a while, but
no, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed, which is very sad. But yeah, completely. Running a small business, it's easy to be the only one doing all the things.
Yeah.
But Chris and I have an opportunity to really train our staff and our baristas to own the store for themselves and, take on their own leadership in whatever they're doing, whatever project inside the business they want to have. So I think it's about sharing that, there's doesn't have to be one person in charge. You don't have to be the only one. Sorry, my dog. Rizzo, what's going on? Rizzo wants to say hi. So there doesn't have to be one person, who's running the show. It doesn't have to be you, the one running the show all the time. I think it has to do about how do you engage leaders and people around you to take on whatever the project is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And also to relate to what you were saying, to just be that's the what so. I didn't have time to do this, but I'll do this, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay. That's what it is. You want to put the dog in?
Yeah, Rizzo, come here. All right,
Natalie says hi.
All right, Rizzo says hi. Rizzo's been introduced.
I love it. Natalie says, wow, that is great. I love what you said, Jessica. If you can touch one person, then don't keep it to yourself. It's true. And it's exactly what happened with me. I read a book that had multiple authors inside, and there's one story that really touched me, went straight to my heart. And I reached out to that lady, and she became my personal coach for 3 months, and that transformed my life. So honestly, and I know I'm thinking of one of my good friends. She's such a good writer, and she's letting that fear there. And I'm just like, I'm thinking of you right now. I won't say her name, but I will tell her face to face when I see her. Just write it, right? Because you want to inspire other people. And on what you just shared about creating that community and having other leaders, I won't spill out the details, but we are working now on an event. And I honestly, I think you muted yourself.
I did because Rizzo is barking. So I'm just
okay.
occasionally mute myself.
Okay, sounds good. And so just talking about the potential idea of that specific event, I already have two incredible leaders, so excited about creating that event. And it's just like, yeah, by myself, I can't do it. And then to enroll those leaders,
Yep.
and they're taking on other roles that I'm, maybe not as good at. Like, this is so incredible. And now I can't wait to enroll other leaders, to make it a bigger event. So I love this.
Awesome.
It's awesome, right? Oh, the dog wants to play. Oh my God. Come
She's,
take care.
she's protecting the household right now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna slowly wrap up. And I have two quotes that I picked for today regarding I just picked them randomly, but it is what we talked about. So the first quote is, be that kind soul that makes everybody feel like a somebody. And when I read that, I immediately thought of you, because you not only drove every week, multiple times a week sometimes, and you made sure to show up and and really being a stand for all of us, no matter how we were showing up late, not showing up, excuses. You were accepting us how we are. You were still showing up as that program leader and being in that promise that you're going to complete your program and I'm going to stand by you until the end. That's
yeah, I got it.
Right?
Everybody needs people like that in their lives. Yeah.
Totally. So you get to meet her today, Tracy. So if ever you want to do a program, reach out to me. I'll forward you the information where she's gonna be when the in-person starts again. And then the second quote is, create a life that you can't wait to wake up to. And I think that goes back to what you were saying, there's a spark in you, sometimes we want to hide it, or we want to just but it's there. There's something that sparks you up, and just, take little action, or surround, or get help, reach out to other leaders, and they'll direct you to the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing what your network and resources really have available if you actually are asking and inquiring. You just never know.
Right. And hi, Marcel. Hi, Antonio. Hello, Anita. Welcome. If you're watching live, type live in the comments. Welcome. We're just wrapping this call up, but it will be recorded and you'll be able to watch it again. So what we talked about is really that shift, coping or letting be of how things are right now with the, school starting again, and the kids being uncertain of how things are going to be at school, and how you can get the support that you need, right? And how you can, other ways like writing, we talked about a few things. So I want to hear from you, Tracy, to close it off. Oh, before I do that, how can people reach you? What's the best way?
Well, you can find me at my website, tracyvicory-rosenquest.com. It's a long name, so you're gonna have to write that down.
And okay, because you'll post it in the comments on my Women Empowerment group. Okay.
No problem. And also on Facebook, you can hit me up on Facebook as well. It's an easy way to find me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So let me hear you close it off with whatever thoughts you want to share, because I know there's a lot you want to share. And you can take a few minutes, because I want to take all that you have to share.
Oh my God. I hope you can hear me. This is like the dog is going.
It's perfect.
Okay, good. Well, I don't know. I just think, right now it's easy. It's easy for me to go right into my head and right into like my own internal world about what I'm dealing with, what my family's dealing with, how do we move through these spaces, the unpredictability of it all. And I think it's important to keep getting out loud, either out loud with people or out loud, with your pen and paper, with what it is that what the spaces are that you're moving through, because there's a lot of spaces coming up. And, the more I think that we can actually be in communication with each other and hear each other and allow each other to be with each other with what we're going through, the easier this time is gonna be. I hope for, that this is a learning time for us, that we can adapt and get creative and create that life that we get to wake up to, that we've dreamt about, that you just shared in that quote. Right. I think this is not a time to be on hold with your life or waiting for it to all normalize, because you're going to be waiting for who knows how long. So I invite you to be, in action with whatever it is that you care about and whatever it is that you dream about, and that you have everything you need to get creative about how to take that on. You don't have to wait until this is all over.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, reach out to somebody, they'll direct you. I'm telling you.
Or create a project.
Create a project. I love you, Tracy, and I do want to say thank you, because you did take time to call me.
Yeah.
Hey, Jess, what's up?
Yeah.
How you been? Yeah. And I was really like, oh wow, like this is wonderful. Like she thought of me, taking her time to ask me how I am. Then I'm all about paying it forward. I'm gonna do the same and call somebody, right? Yeah. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for accepting to be on this call.
You're
it's
welcome.
Always such an honor, a pleasure to hear what you have to share. And I hope you got so inspired by this conversation.
Thank you.
And let me see.
Yeah.
We have hello, Kosi. Hi. Amy. She says, hi, Tracy.
Hi,
Amy. Ladies, I like what I'm hearing right now. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I hope you were inspired. If you have missed it, watch it on replay, rewind, reach out to Tracy. We'll post her link to her website. You can reach her on Facebook. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody have an amazing Wednesday. I will be back next week with another special guest, and have an incredible week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you.
Yay! Yay.
Bye.
Love you guys.
If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share with the people that you love and care about. Jessica DSB.